I'm Jonathan Otto, and you're currently watching bonus episode 10. In episode 10, you got to hear from renowned experts as they discuss their latest and highly effective treatments for reversing diseases and helping people restore their health post-vaccine or post-COVID. Okay, you're watching Absolute Healing. This is going to be a treat, this episode. We know now that the spike glycoproteins, along with other deadly toxic ingredients in the cocktail jab, including the potential for graphene oxide and hydrogel and animal venoms, venom peptides, messenger RNA instructing E. coli and yeast to form into venom peptides in our body. Potential, absolutely. We're seeing evidence concretely of these very technologies being used. These have caused such a mass amount of destruction. And again, look at what you think on these facts, but they've caused such a destruction that many are feeling left helpless, hopeless, and they're being turned away by doctors and hospitals alike who don't have a clue how to help them, or who refuse to help them and admit that these vaccines are dangerous. This is why I've teamed up with incredible doctors and researchers as they are revealing the latest treatments and technologies that they're using to reverse disease. The first speaker for this episode is John Baxter, who is the president of Anti-Aging Bed, a technology that is proven to reduce inflammation and accelerate rejuvenation. He shares how his personal journey of suffering after making a wrong move as a martial artist ended his career and led him to discover the true meaning of healing.
My name is John Baxter. I am president of Anti-Aging Bed. I had a long journey and road to get where I am today. And my whole life, essentially, first part of my life, I was just an athlete. Just loved to research, read books. Unfortunately, the worst thing happened and my career ended as a martial artist at an early age of 20. Did a move on a guy, and 4 through 6 of my cervical spine on my left side crushed. Had damage throughout both sides of my disc, pinched the nerve. Didn't totally cut the nerve off, thank God, but this move caused my hands to swell like softballs, both of them, and I couldn't squeeze my hands. So there was this really scary accident that happened at an early age of 20. Since my mother had surgeries, cervical surgeries and carpal tunnel surgeries, possibly didn't need, I refused the surgery. Everyone thought I was crazy at the age of 20. Even with hands, living with pins and needles in my hands for a long time. Tried to use the current system as much as I could. Couldn't really use chiropractic because it was such a severe injury at the time. I had to give it years off, let this damage subside. So, this process was a journey and a learning curve. I spoke to a lot of doctors. And really, the only two options were pills to numb the pain, morphine if I wanted to get a drip, or, of course, surgery. So at that time, it was the early 2000, when this all occurred. Today, 2023, right? And so I lived with chronic pain for 15 years. So it wasn't fun, and this is part of my gift, I guess, because that pain to purpose story, this is really my pain to purpose story, how I got here today. And living with that pain, I couldn't tell anyone about it. They didn't care. They didn't feel the pain. But when you're living a life at a young age, when you're moving your whole shoulders to move your neck, it was painful. But the years that it took to figure it out, I was up all night. I couldn't sleep. I was a researcher. I loved to read books already, but that gift allowed me to be strong at certain things. Of course, researching the far reaches of the internet, all the information that was out there when I was young was totally new. So I was able to piece together things. I call them somewhat of a truth, objective truths, right, that we all had, and started piecing things together, learning more. And I started running into many doctors, of course, trying to see what I could do without surgery. And literally, I just started taking things in my own hands, because it's either you're just going to perish from stress, pain, and anxiety. Everyone around you is not going to understand what you're going through. So this is part of the pain to purpose story, right? And so I take a little bit of what was working for me and like basically discard what wasn't working for me. And what I found was a simple, very simple, effective, this story goes full circle where I can actually say I healed myself. My body heals itself already. I just had to change the terrain. I had to change the environment I was around. I had to change my thoughts. And these are things that you never hear. These are things that are obsolete in any type of what appears to be a treatment. You either do what the doctor says, you follow the treatment, and whether it's pain pills. I realized after the first year that I would die of liver destruction of my liver because of the amount of pain pills. The last time I took pain pills, I took 13 pain pills in one day. So I remember the day. My heart was almost feeling like it was either not there or barely beating. And it was just because the pain was so severe that those pain pills just numbed me. And what I realized was the pain pills were giving me more damage because I wasn't feeling anything. I was moving like I didn't just have a broken neck, right? So I went through that, and from there met another guy, couple guys, but I got into the innovation in the mattress industry by meeting my mentor. I broke my neck, one door closed, another door opened. Met my mentor. He was in the healthcare, back care, sleep products industry, which is a little bit more advanced than the mattress industry in the early 2000s. So I was one of his proteges, and I learned as much as I could. And at that time, no one heard about the zero gravity position. So that was one of the first things I ran with, the zero gravity position, explaining how a position in sleep could reduce your stress, help you sleep, take pressure off the lower back spine, and from there, your body can better recover. That's why in hospitals, a lot of times you see they raise their legs, right? It's because circulation improves so that the body can do what it naturally does. So I ran with that, and one of the leading pioneers of the zero gravity position here in the U.S. From there, I took it to another level and created patents, right? And I met my next mentor and a guy that helped me along the way, Dr. Greg Carter. Essentially, he was an acupuncture doctor, chiropractor, just had different knowledge than I ran across from other people. And it was about nutrition. It was about exercise. It was about sleep. Sleep came from my other mentor from the mattress industry. So really, I just focused on very simple approach, right? And because I was already in the approach of, here's something good, try it, and you try every direction. What I realized was simplicity was really key to break through a lot of dogma, a lot of information. So, he taught me nutrition and at a high level, how to reduce your inflammation from your diet, right? How to eat more pH alkaline foods and acidic, remove the sugars out of the diet. I was gluten intolerant and didn't know it. All these little things really affected my inflammation, so I really wasn't healing. So I actually became vegan. I thought it was great. It was a good diet for me because I knew about mineralization. I still got my proteins, right, and all that. But it was good for me at the time. I'm not one right now, but it was good for me at the time because it reduced all my inflammation. It detoxed my body from all the toxins in the environment. Those toxins were impeding my own body's self-healing processes, right? So that really gave me the confidence that I could improve my health. Just those simple things, right? Sleeping on the zero gravity position, getting more sleep, of course, and then exercise. And that's part of my sports injury. And so I started doing a lot of Tai Chi, even at a young age, because more of the combative sports was really just going to put me down for 2 weeks. Doing what I love would put me down for 2 weeks. So next thing you know, my friend Dr. Greg Carter, we had an idea from learning grounding from my Tai Chi practice, and that was really important. It's part of some of that philosophy. Standing barefoot on the ground for free can reduce your inflammation, just like having a vegan diet, but much more like on steroids, right? You're just grounding, my inflammation's being reduced. So it was just amazing. And part of that healing process, when I said I healed myself, I used sound frequencies. I was doing the 3 pillars like I told you, along with grounding the body and just staying disciplined. I can actually say I healed myself with the help of a lot of doctors, friends, and bringing information and research together. Grounding, far infrared, EMF shielding as kind of the foundation of our technology, and going up into frequencies and sound frequencies and this type of technology. I realized a long time ago that one specific thing couldn't do everything, right? There is no simple silver bullet. There's not one pill that can just regenerate the whole body, right? So what I learned is that, with the pillars, the exercise, the nutrition, the diet, it all comes together. It all comes full circle. And so that around the time that I can actually say, I healed myself, it came out of me naturally. I felt like one of the things with my healing was that when I broke my neck, I didn't want to go deep down into the trauma of my broken neck, and I wasn't able to get into my heart focused, centered purpose. When I healed myself, it was like having your head cut off, being all stuck in your head, thinking this thought, thinking that thought, being caught. As soon as I opened it up, I was actually able to realize my heart was more important than my mind. So that was super important in my healing process. And a lot of people maybe not understand that, but we're a unified unit. We're not like a car where the engine is completely obsolete from the rest of the body. This is an entire unit, and it works all together like an instrument, a perfectly fine-tuned instrument that you plays. And that's really what I believe health is, even up to spirituality and your connection with God. All that is in alignment with your health, I believe. If you're not healthy, then you're not really helping society or the people around you very much, because that's where I was for many years, in pain.
John Baxter shares more insight into another powerful anti-aging regenerative treatment. He also highlights the therapeutic benefits of increasing your frequency and the voltage in your body so that you can repair damaged cells and regenerate new ones.
And anti-aging is a word that maybe people think they may not understand, but they maybe want to understand more. But realize the current system, just their whole fiduciary responsibility is just to keep you above dead, right? After that, their job is done. Pay the bills, you're alive. It's catastrophic injury medicine, right? What I realized here is that in anti-aging, you take your health into your own hands, right? Biohacking is kind of another level, but anti-aging is another level, right? You're doing things to optimize your health, you're monitoring your health, and you're doing things that give you cellular regeneration, right? So anti-aging can be a lot of things. You could be adding exosomes, stem cells, a lot of things to help improve your life. But beyond that, what we work on is products that you can use to just improve your cellular structure, overall well-being, safe, effective, and things that you can use in the comfort of your own home. Yeah, I believe it's a full circle, full spectrum. I do believe in, this ability that our body can self-heal itself, right, with the proper commands. We're the CEO of our own cells, and if we give it the wrong frequency or the wrong attention, or just don't even give our bodies attention, it's going to be difficult to heal. You have to stay focused, a lot of times disciplined, but overall, my connection of why I do everything, I'm just following through what God told me. So literally, with my body, listening to my body was the most important. And if something didn't work for me, I rejected it. And if I saw some improvement, I kept it. And that's how we created this whole thing, is working on myself, working with others, other people, doctors, engineers, and really only focusing on things that actually you could get a little bit of a wow factor. Like, wow, I really feel something different and that type of thing. But the power of belief in just creating the products, right? I'm an inventor. So, it's a hard pill to swallow when you're an inventor, because, you have to get patents, your ideas in your mind get put on paper. Beyond that, in the physical realm, you put, as almost an alchemist, these things together, and you do trial and error, and then that's not it. Then you have to get the product out, and there's a lot of stuff to it. So I've realized this through my Pain to Purpose story, and I said it just a few days ago. If someone says it's impossible and everyone around you says it's impossible, I'm living proof that it's not. And to the point where things look dark and there's no light at the end of the tunnel, you just basically pray. You just don't give up. You keep moving forward, and any type of progress, get a little bit better each day over a period of time, that adds up. And really, the part of the reason why I'm here today is just the culmination, just many years of study, research, working with people, and just getting a firm understanding of what's out there. And but yeah, the power of belief is so important, and the power just to get better every day, because it really is a mindset. There's the mind you have to work with too, and the motivation and inspiration behind it. Like, how healthy do you want to get? I don't think there's ever been a real study done on what is the peak optimal situation. Like, we know what we've been told as an average heart rate, average temperature, but those are basically vitals. But overall health, there's never really been something that says, if you want this peak health that is very hard to obtain, like, what is the roadmap to get there? All we know today from the current research and established medical system is that you just care about your vitals and just get above your vitals, get in some mean, and that's considered healthy. But in reality, the way you feel is beyond all these metrics. So the overall goal of what I've been working on, is a philosophy, whether it be meditation, working on different practices or different technologies, or layering different technologies. It goes back to the philosophy that, we layer technologies together. We realize the number one issue is inflammation in the body. Once you can take care of inflammation in the body, you can reduce a lot of your issues with disease and the consequences of wearing your body down due to stress. And then you get into the other stuff, the frequencies, right? Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Edgar Cayce, or a few, they all said the future of medicine, this is in the early 1900s, the future of medicine is frequency medicine. They all said the same thing. We don't know about this today, but soon here, I'm sure a lot of people are going to start hearing about it a lot more often. Yeah, this helps a plethora of issues, addressing proper terms, addressing certain issues, cancer, Lyme, the vaccinated, which appears to be just a huge problem. I saw the Fox News reports, and the the other issues, right? The COVID. Yeah, so long haulers with COVID, we see a lot of people with things that they never knew they had pop up immediately. With the vaccinated, same thing is, after the vaccination, all these weird things, you name it, of seeing weird things. I mean, it's hard to explain, but I see these people all the time because people are looking for answers out there. They aren't getting a lot of the answers from the current situation. Is just one answer, get vaccinated, don't question, right? So there's a lot of people out there. Heavy metal removal is one of the things we work on. That's just one subset of the major issue. But, we believe detoxing the body of the man-made stuff is super important, and upping our frequencies just on a general scale, like low frequency. Literally, you're in a cancerous state and gonna die. Voltage of your body, right? Increasing your frequency voltage in the body, nanovolts, and essentially your body can start repairing some of the cells that were weak, can fall off so that new cells can grow. And we don't really get into the in-depth version of the per se, the depth of it, because there's a lot of people that maybe don't understand it more so, and then other peoples that really get it. So we go for a full body situation. First law starts with inflammation, gets into parasites, mold, bacteria, fungus, and then addressing the heavy metals, addressing the frequency. And so the body is a self-healing mechanism that can help purge and detox some of this stuff. So we're focused on just doing the best we can with what we have available. Yeah, so one of the easiest ways I can explain it, the opera singer, usually a woman that has a powerful voice, she can have a glass of water, her voice, the frequency and the pitch out of her voice can affect the glass. If she matches the exact frequency of the glass, she shatters the glass. So that's really how frequency medicine really works. You match the illness, and when the illness is matched, and they were doing this in the 1930s with electron microscopes, right? They're able to see it real time. Nowadays, we're not allowed to have that equipment. So basically every frequency, everything is a frequency. We're a frequency vibrating at a specific, and everyone's different. I'm different than you. You're different than me, and the next person has a different frequency. But there's many different layers to that. So, you're talking about adding frequency to change the environment around you to up your frequency. You're talking about your internal frequency where you're at, low, high, normal. You're talking also frequency of the ground, right? We stand on 7.86 hertz, right? That's the Schumann resonance. That's a frequency. You're getting a frequency by just standing outside barefoot. You're absorbing it. You're connected as one. So it has many different layers. I mean, you could be eating something to change your frequency a little bit, right? So the frequency has many different meanings, and you really shouldn't think of it as just a single one, right? Just a waveform. A waveform is a frequency. How many waveforms in a small inch, determines the hertz, right? The hertz frequency. And that's kind of where we play. We play in hertz frequencies with a lot of the technology. And when we're talking about matching the frequency, we're talking about hertz. So in the measurement of hertz frequency. So I brought up a couple inventors, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and more of a spiritual person, Edgar Cayce, all saying this in the early 1900s. The future of medicine's frequency medicine. But how much does the average person know about that? Well, we weren't told about Nikola Tesla in our school books for a reason. So this is new to people to hear, but it's very old. We had to go back in time in history to see what was censored. What was censored was working fine and working great, So the Royal Rife study with the 16 people that had cancer, no one heard about that. That's why when my pain to purpose story, I was a researcher and I really wasn't busy doing other things. I had nothing else to do. I had a broken neck. So I was able to, maybe that helped me get my fingers back typing a lot, but I was able to research the far reaches of the internet and pull things together. We see standard medical system as buckets. This guy works on hearts. This guy works on skin. This guy works on eyes. But none of the doctors really had the vision of really connecting it all together, right? And that's why I said, if we get in a high-level conversation with a doctor of a specific practice, right? When they get into the study of that, yeah, they're experts in what they do, right? But what we're talking about here is overarching technology layers, inflammation, parasites, bacteria, mold, fungus, heavy metals in the body, toxins in the body, right? And so that's kind of the chain of, how a lot of this stuff gets put together.
We've reached the end of this incredible episode. This is just one of the many parts of my mission that I love, finding the brilliant minds behind these powerful therapies and treatments and sharing them with you. I know that so many people worldwide could benefit immensely from treatments like these. The severity of the symptoms that we're seeing as a result of the spike in glycoproteins calls for an innovative and clever approach to treating all disease right now. And another goal that I want to achieve with this docuseries is to create an open mind to researching new solutions yourself. So to start determining what your body needs and what's compromising your health and causing disease in your body. So my ultimate goal is to really teach you how to become your own doctor and share with you the tools that you can use to restore your health permanently rather than masking the symptoms of your disease and going through life feeling drained or even hopeless. And your journey towards self-discovery and absolute healing starts right here, right now. As you watch this, you're opening the door to endless solutions and endless possibilities pertaining to your health and well-being. So I hope that you'll take advantage of this and be inspired to start discovering your healing destiny just like I did mine.